The year is 1998, and Nikki Yarber is a beautiful and vibrant 15-year-old girl. Her family, well-known socialites in her small town of Sloan, Texas, and Nikki is a cheerleader. And in small towns in Texas, football is the only thing that matters. So, for a girl, being a cheerleader is the only thing that matters, okay? So, after a football game one night, Nikki never comes home, and she's gone. No one can find her. People of Sloan, Texas search, and they become desperate. And as desperation rises and tensions mount to find justice and to find Nikki, police receive a tip, an anonymous tip saying that Dante Drum, Nikki's boyfriend, killed her. Police show up at Dante Drum's house, and he says he has nothing to hide. And to show as a sign of good faith, he signs away his Miranda rights. 17-year-old Dante Drum is a football star, and he's got the world going for him. And he even has an incredibly promising career in football post-graduation from high school. With no body still and no other evidence except for the tip, Dante Drum is convicted and found guilty of the murder of Nikki Yarber. As per Texas law, he is also sentenced to death. Now let's move forward 9 years. Now we're days away from Dante Drum's execution. At the same time, in southern Texas, Travis Boyette is a convicted rapist who just got released from prison. He has a terminal tumor on his brain. And as his own death looms nigh, he realizes he needs to do the right thing. So he goes to his pastor, and he tells his pastor that he is the one who actually raped and murdered Nikki Yarber. And her body is 6 hours in the opposite direction, north, in Joplin, Missouri. The pastor and Boyette drive to Sloan, Texas, where Travis publicly says, "Hey, I killed her." And the people of Sloan, Texas, and authorities dismiss him, saying he's a crazy old man who's going to die anyway. He just wants to get a murderer off free. We are now hours from Dante's murder. So the pastor and Travis Boyette rush up to Joplin, Missouri with authorities, trying to prove that he is actually the one who killed Nikki. They find Nikki's body, and Boyette has evidence proving that he raped and murdered Nikki Yarber. They are 2 hours too late. If they were 2 hours earlier, Dante Drum would still be alive. But unfortunately, by a mere 2 hours, Dante Drum is executed. This is the story that convinced me of the perils of living in a society that believes in the death penalty. This is a story written by John Grisham in the book Confession. Now, I'm sorry I spoiled it, but this is important. Now, more than 2,500 prisoners sit on death row. That means there are 2,500 other Dante Drums out there. In the federal court system, the death penalty is still legal. And in 32 of the 50 states, death penalty is also still legal. And in Arizona, the death penalty has been suspended. Now, it is not illegal, but it has been temporarily suspended after an execution in 2014. Now, the idea from the death penalty stems from the Bible in Leviticus, where it states, "And a man who injures his countrymen as he has done, so shall it be unto him." Now, many use this as justification for the death penalty. However, Leviticus is in the Old Testament, and in the New Testament, Jesus Christ comes along and sets a higher law. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 and 39, it says, "Ye have heard it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye shall resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy cheek, turn him the other also." Jesus is destroying this idea of an eye for an eye, or life for life, and encourages forgiveness and for us to be the higher person. Now, I'm not saying people who are convicted of murder should be let scot-free. I'm saying they should spend their life in prison. The American Civil Liberties Union also reports that, in addition, executions cost 5 times more than a sentence to life in prison. So not only are we killing innocent people, we are also putting an increased burden on the taxpayers, aka us, all of us. Now, we're all humans, we're all imperfect, we make mistakes. We cause car accidents, we accidentally hurt one another, and we judge wrongfully, and we wrongly convict. When we make these mistakes, though, we like to try and do everything we can to prevent that from ever happening again. So, why are we continuing to murder innocent people? History has already shown us that we've already executed innocent people. Okay? Since 1973, there have been 185 death row exonerations. That means 185 people in the last 40 years have almost been killed, but we didn't. But that should be enough to show you that this is a problem. The solution for this is simple. We need to make the death penalty illegal. Now, us as graduate students, there's stuff we can do about it. And this solution is twofold, the state and federal level. Now, for us in Arizona, we can get in touch with our senators, who are Mark Kelly and Kirsten Sinema, and tell them, and it doesn't have to be very long, because I know we're grad students, we're busy, we don't have time. All we have to say is, Dear Senator Kelly, the death penalty is wrong, you need to do something about it. Period. One sentence. Send that off to Senator Kelly. Now, for those of us at ASU campus, our state legislature is Juan Mendez. Email him. Tell him that this is wrong and it needs to stop. And they're going to listen to us. Why? Because we're voters. They rely on our votes. And they rely on our input and our say-so and what we think. Because their job is to help us continue with our lives and make our lives better. How are they going to know if something's wrong if we don't tell them? We have an obligation to tell them. Now, as long as the death penalty is legal in society, we are all responsible for the murder of innocent people. There's too much of a risk that we are going to accidentally kill someone. We need to make the death penalty illegal. Thank you.